The movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, released in 2023, is the animated action slash sci-fi sequel to the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which released in 2018. The story revolves around mainly Miles Morales, which is the Spider-Man of Earth 1610, which is trying to have a balance between his superhero life and his personal life. Uh, and while he is trying to do that, he is presented with the opportunity to meet back up with his friends, his Spider People friends from the last movie, and meet even more of them. And these people could help him get over his difficulties related to being a hero. So he takes that opportunity. However, the Spider-Verse is faced with a multiversal threat that could make several universes fall apart, and Miles Morales is faced with a dilemma where he has to choose of between one of his two lives. The other main characters in the movie are Gwen Stacy slash Spider-Gwen, portrayed by Haley Steinfeld, Miguel O'Hara slash Spider-Man 2099, which is played by Oscar Isaac, and Peter B. Parker, which is the Spider-Man of Earth 616, which is played by Jake Johnson. The things I like the most about the movie are the complex and meaningful story, which manages to integrate a bunch of sci-fi concepts while keeping a good pacing and allowing the audience to invest in this story. Also, the well-developed characters, the incredible animation, which uses several different styles to represent the different dimensions, and the very creative and beautiful score and soundtrack. This movie doesn't totally conclude its story, since it was divided in two parts. It being continued with Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which will release in 2027. Some people were bummed some people were bummed out by this ending, but I think the movie manages to do a good job of concluding some of the storylines it set up and also creating anticipation for what's to come. Especially if you already know before going into the movie that it won't end completely. Also, there are some plot points that, while they are interesting, don't necessarily make sense, especially don't mes- don't necessarily make sense, especially with the inclusion of a whole multiverse of storylines and characters. But the next movie can. But since this movie left things a little bit open-ended, the next movie could offer more explanations, more information, and greater context, which could solve these issues. But still, I think this movie could ha but still, I think this movie could have explained things a little bit better. So, in my opinion, this movie is definitely worth watching. especially if you are a fan of superheroes and animation, as well as of themes such as parent-child relationships, belonging, and societal expectations.